You got a friend in me. When the road looks rough ahead, you're miles and miles from your nice warm bed. You just remember what your old pal said, but you got a friend in me. Yeah, you got a friend in me. You got a friend in me. You got a friend in me. You got a troubles, well, I got them too. There isn't anything I wouldn't do for you. We stick together, we can see it through, 'cause you got a friend in me. Yeah, you got a friend in me. Some of the folks might be a little bit smarter than I am, bigger and stronger too, maybe, but none of them will ever love you the way I do. It's me and you, boy, and as the years go by, our friendship will never die. You're gonna see it as our destiny, 'cause you got a friend in me. Yeah, you got a friend in me. Yeah, you got a friend in me. Hey, how you doing? Justin here. Today we are checking out You Got a Friend in Me by Randy Newman from, of course, the classic Toy Story film. I mostly learned this to play for my daughter, but while I was at it, I thought I'd do you guys a lesson as well. I'm playing at a kind of fingerstyle thing where I'm playing the bass note with my thumb. I'm doing sometimes a bit of a hit on 2 and 4 and picking out a few notes individually. I suggest that we're going to start by just looking at the chords simply, and then you can work out an arrangement that you like. But I will explain some of what I'm doing there with the groove as well, if you want to kind of cop some of the arrangement ideas that I'm putting into it as well. Let's get to a close-up. Check it out. First thing to notice, of course, is a capo on the 3rd fret. The chords that we got is half a bar of C, half a bar of E7, half a bar of A minor, and then half a bar of G sharp 7, which is a bar chord 4 frets above the capo. So, of course, without the capo, this would have been a B7 chord, but because all of the chords that I name are going to be relative to the capo, really important. So this one is a G sharp 7 chord. So it's like a regular G sharp lift off little finger. You could use that, but I think for most times you're just going to be wanting to do that for reasons I'll explain in just a second. Then we've got 3 bars of C to G, or you could do C to G7, which is quite nice as well. 3rd fret, muted 5th string, 3rd fret on the 4th string with a little finger, 2 strings open, and then mute the thinner string as well. So if I move my hands out of the way like that to demonstrate the thinner string rings open, doesn't sound terrible, makes it into a G13 sound, but when the hand's sitting like that, normally the thinner string is muted by some or all of those fingers. The other chord that you need for this song you might not be so familiar with is a G augmented chord. So that one is 3rd fret on the thicker string, muting the 5th string, 1st finger in the 1st fret of the 4th string. That's the sharp 5, open G string, open B string, and the thinner string muted again. Okay, so 3, mute, 1, open, open, mute. It's a G augmented. The basic chord progression at the beginning is going to be the C, E7, A minor, to G sharp 7, then C to G or G7 or G augmented. It doesn't really matter. I think what I did in the intro was C, G7, C, G augmented, C, G7. I think on the record, actually, I've just remembered it's a C, G augmented, C6, with this as the top note. So you just want to be plucking those notes individually with the fingers. That's nothing on the thicker string, 3rd fret, 2nd fret, 2nd fret. Actually forgot about that. That goes back to the G augmented. So you get this top note going here, C, G augmented, C6, G augmented. I think that's what's going on there in the intro for the last two bars, but it doesn't, you know, you can work out your own arrangement there as well. I'm going to talk more about the exact fingerstyle patterns and how to pick out individual notes from the chords a little bit later on. But to start off with, I'd recommend that you start with playing the thumb on the bass note. First finger will play the 4th string, 2 and 3 will do a little strum, and then first finger will play either the 3rd or the 4th string again as a pattern. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and C, E, A minor to G sharp 7, C, G7, C, G augmented, C6 if you're going to do that. And then we're into the verses. So this idea, it can definitely get a lot more fancy than that when you start picking out individual notes and you're playing notes at the same time as the bass, but that would be a good starting point. I'll go into a little bit more detail about the chords and the fingering exactly a little later on. Let's get through the majority of the song first without all of the fancy stuff. So the verses. C, you got a G augmented in C to C7. Okay, so C, G augmented, C, C7. Just adding little finger down for the C7. Then we got F, F sharp diminished, which if you haven't tried to play that before, it's kind of like an F7 but with an F sharp on the bottom. So 2nd fret, nothing on the 5th string, 1st fret, 2nd fret, 1st fret, and nothing on the thinner string. Just lifting that first finger bar up a little bit to mute the thinner string. Okay, so C, G augmented, C, C7, F, F sharp diminished to C, to C7, F to C, E7 to A minor, F to C to E7 and A minor, F to C, what a E7, A minor, but D7's got a G or G7 to C to A7, to D's got a G in, and then you've got that little intro bit with a G sharp 7 and C to G. Okay, so let me just run that chord progression over again. C, you got a G augmented in C to C7. F, you got an F sharp diminished 7th to C to C7. F, when the C looks E7 to A minor, F to C to E7 to A minor, F to C, what's your E7, A minor to D7, to G7 to C to A7, to D7, got a G7 to the intro, A minor, C to G7. Verse 2, the same. C's got a G augmented to C to C7. F's got an F sharp diminished 7th to C to C7. F, you've got C7, well E7's got 'em A minor. F, there isn't C, that E7 wouldn't A minor for you. F, we stick to C, we can E7 it to A minor, cause D7's got a G in C to A7. Yeah, D7's got a G in C. And once you're through those verses, there's this kind of unusual bridge bit. The chords change up, the meter feels a little different. It still stays in 4/4, but the amount of bars in the sequence feels cool, different, not what you'd maybe expect. So at that point, we're going from a C to a G augmented over B. So it's kind of like a B7, but without those two fingers. We're just playing the middle 4 strings. So 2nd fret, 1st fret, open, open. G augmented over B. Now this next chord, I'm not exactly, it's probably a B flat 7. I'm playing it as a B flat 6. So 1st fret, 3rd fret, open, 3rd fret, and then the outside 2 strings are both muted. So C, G augmented over B, B flat 6 to A7, D7 to G to C to G7, and it does that sequence almost again. So let me just run it one more time. C to G augmented over B, B flat 6, A7, D7, G7, C, then G7, first time round. Then it does the same thing, just a slight variation at the end. A7 to D7 to G7 to C. This time instead of G7 it goes to C7, and then we're into the bridge. So F. Some other folk might be a little bit B chord than I am. C to B7 back to C, maybe, but B, none of them will B7 ever love you. The E minor to A7, it's D minor to G, boy. And then we're into verse 3. Let me take you through that bridge one more time. So F. Some other folks might be a little bit B chord smarter than I am. C to B7 to C, maybe, but B, none of them will B7 love you. The E minor to A to D minor to G, boy. Back to the verse. And the G augmented to C to C7. This is verse 3. F to F sharp diminished 7 to C to C7. You're gonna F sharp diminished to C, E7, A minor. So we got that little bit where the chord is just, it's rubato, so it's freed up of the beat there just for that little second. And you're gonna play Destiny. So C, E7, A minor. Then D7's got a G, or G7 to C, A7. Then D's got a G in C, A7. Then D7's got a G in the intro. If you want to do the version, like this is completely mine, not on the original recording, I'm just playing this like a G13 flat 9, 3rd fret mute, 3rd fret, 1st fret open, open, and then a C6, nothing on the thickest string, 3rd fret, 2nd fret, 2nd fret, 3rd fret, 3rd fret, just because I love that. It just sounds so lovely. I'll sometimes put this G on the bass as well. Doesn't matter which one of those you do. So third verse is essentially the same thing. You've just got that little variation there on the Destiny. The Destiny, where you're going to change those chords a little bit quicker. Yeah, that's, you just got to feel that one out and play it along with whoever the singer is. If you're not singing it, you've got to make sure that you're watching closely to get those chords in the right place. So now I'd like to go through a little bit more of adding a few little fancy ideas that you might want to try out to pick out some of the notes that kind of form part of the melody or counter melodies to it, and the important notes of the chord, which it all becomes down to this fingerstyle thing. And it's a way of playing that I copped off Neil Young, which is this idea of having a bass note on beats 1 and 3, some sort of hit, either a percussive hit or strumming the chord on 2 and 4, and on the ands, you're going to use the first finger to play a note individually. So that's what I talked about a bit before, but let's get to a close-up and I'll explain a little bit more about that. So if we're just looking at this again, just to make sure that you're hip with this, the idea is that the thumb is going to play on beat 1, first finger's going to play on the and, you're going to do a little strum or a like kind of slightly percussive-y hit thing there on beat 2, 1 and 2 and then the and thumb will either play the 4th string again or one of the other strings, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3. So that's a really good thing to get on, like before you go any further with something like this, you want to get that technique right. You can see I can do it with just the strum, or I can start to add a little bit more of a hit where I'm using this kind of part of my palm to hit the thicker strings onto the guitar. You can get, here I get a bit of a, and that's how I can do a, because I'm doing a little strum at the same time as this hit. Without any percussion or with the hit. Definitely recommend doing a bit of practice on that first of all. Not that slow, fast either. Now, as soon as you want to start picking things out, at some point you might play extra notes to that. So for the intro, you might go C. So straight away I'm trying to pull out that. So in order to do that, I'm doing the C. You see, C. I'm playing on beat 1, I'm picking the second string, but I'm using second finger to play 2 notes. And then, so I'm sometimes putting a little slide up to that. And I'm actually then blocking the whole chord, so I'm using fingers 1, 2 and 3 and the bass all together. And then there's this note here with a little finger 3 frets higher than the bar on the 3rd string. It gives us that melody going to the C chord if you do it that way. So again, it's mostly about the fingerstyle, having the C to E7, A minor. Yeah, we pick, slide. Second finger's going to play that melody note. Then there's the hit. And then here I'm actually playing the note from the C half a beat early. So the C's, yeah, coming on the and after 4 from here. Just the melody note. And then the rest of the chord is falling. Now the nice thing here with the G7 is as well we're playing the bass note, we're playing the note, the 4th string, which is where the sharp 5 is. So it really feels like you're kind of drawing that note, which is the interesting part of the harmony. You're kind of picking it out by doing that fingerstyle. So going from the C, friend in me. And then the C7, again, I'm just grabbing that one note where it's changing. C to G7 to C. Still trying to keep the bass and the hit on 1 and the hit on 2 and 4 and the bass on 1 and 3. But occasionally if there's other notes, I'm trying to accent them and pick them out. And you could explore seeing which ones you want. I'm not saying you should do exactly the same ones as I'm doing, but might be a starting point to explore. So C to G7 to C. Picking that one out. C7 again. On the E7, it's just nice to pick the flat 7 out. Miles and miles from your E7 bed. Remember what your old pal said. You got a friend in me. Now all of those I'm doing an upstrum early on the and after 4. So E7, A minor, 2, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4. So now I've got this upstrum on the and after 2. I'm forgetting about the rest. And 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2. It's easy to get into this. It'll be an up feeling with the fingers. They'll be picking upwards on the and after 2 and the and after 4 for that part. So for E7 to A minor to up and 4 and 1 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 2. Then we're into the intro. Verse 2, you got a friend. D7's got a G to C. Now here in that bridge, I'm wanting to play C. Here's another pattern, so all together, just fingers, then hit. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. Again, that's the kind of pattern that you can use quite often. Together, fingers hit. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. So C, G augmented with the B7 to the B flat 6 to A7. D7. Now of course thumbs moved over here, so and fingers. They've moved onto the thinnest 4 strings. G7, C, G7. F, them folks might be a little bit B chorder than I am. C to B7 to C. Still following the same sort of pattern. E minor to A7 to D minor to G7. And as the years go by, friendships will never see to C7. You're gonna see it as a destiny. Okay, again, block chords now. Fingers 1, 2 and 3 together with the bass. C, E7, A minor. Do you got a friend in me? You got a friend in me. I really hope you enjoyed my kind of acoustic arrangement of this song. My daughter absolutely loves it, so it's already been a win for me, but I'm hoping that you guys and girls will dig on this as well, and hopefully your kids as well. It's definitely, this is one of those tunes. It's a beautiful song just in its own right, but you add that to the Toy Story and I mean, such an amazing film. Anyway, like just a real, powerful story about friendship, and what a perfect song for that. It's amazing. So yeah, I really hope you enjoy playing it for your kids and they enjoy it as much as my daughter does. Have yourselves an absolutely fantastic day, and I'll see you for plenty more lessons very soon. You'll take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.